This project has been a long time coming. As you guys know, I really enjoy building castles. It's one of my favorite things to design and create in Minecraft. This one is no exception. This is probably one of the craziest projects I've ever taken on in survival, and I got it done, well, a lot quicker than I usually do. After the time lapse, we'll sit down and we'll talk a little bit more about some of the cool features, the block palette, some of the design decisions that I made in creating this. I'll give you some statistics, how many blocks did I place, how many hours did this take to build, those kinds of things. But for now, guys, sit back, relax, enjoy this time lapse. I've condensed it down like crazy, so don't worry, you'll see the finished product in no time. Let's get the shaders turned on and let's take a look at this thing. Between the end of the time lapse and the start of this cinematic tour, I have finished some of the decorations. I've added some more trebuchets. I did some terraforming to a river coming out of the castle drain, and I added all the trees and foliage around the castle. I hope you guys enjoy the tour. I'll see you guys in a few moments. So what did you guys think of that time lapse? I thought it was absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. I had so much fun making that. Let's hit you up with some of those statistics. I worked a total of 60 hours building just time-lapse footage. That doesn't include probably about 20 hours or so after that to finish all the decorations everywhere around the build. And then that doesn't include all of the design work as well. It took me a month and a half to design this thing in creative, but let's tack on another 50 to 60 hours of design work. So that brings us to a grand total of about 140 hours for this project. How many blocks did we place? Well, it was about 110,000 in the original schematic. So I would estimate, when all said and done, we're probably at 130,000, 140,000 blocks. Yeah, Not a small project, guys. I'm super excited it's done. I really want to hear what you guys think. Please leave me a comment down below. If you enjoyed the build of this, seeing the time lapse, getting that flyover, and all of the features that we have going on here, hit me up with a like, maybe even subscribe. That would be swell. Moving on. This is the crown jewel on this castle. This stag pixel art stained glass window. Take a moment to appreciate its beauty. I designed this myself. I designed it based off an image I pulled off the internet. It was just like a stag emblem. I'm not going to show that emblem on screen, just because it might be copyrighted. I don't feel like putting any risk on that. But if you guys look up stag emblem, check it out. I built a couple of those, actually. One that was more symmetrical, and then that asymmetrical one. I think I made the right choice. I want to talk a little bit about one of the challenges with building something this big. Most servers run a default render distance of 12 chunks. Let's do some quick mental math on how many blocks that is. That is about 192 blocks. I know you guys think I just did some quick mental math, but I actually have the number written out in front of me that I used a calculator to... Shame on me. But 192 blocks, that's the maximum render distance. Now granted, that is, you know, both to your left and to your right, in front of you and behind you, right? It ends up being a circle around you with the diameter of about 384 blocks, which is quite a distance. However, when you're just trying to look in front of you, you end up with issues, especially with a build of this scale, where to get it into frame, part of it ends up unloaded, or you have a hard time getting features that are towards the back of the build to be visible at all. And this was actually a major challenge building on a server, so what I did was installed a client-side mod that allows you to load chunks on your computer and keep them loaded so that you can see it. I mean, this thing is huge! It's the biggest thing I've ever built, and it's not even close. I compared it with the Elven Castle. I mean, just get a sense of, like, the ridiculous scale. I compared it with the Elven Castle at one point, and the Elven Castle is basically half this. Or Elven Palace, I guess is what it's called. That's one of my more popular builds. It's about half the size of this thing. There's one more thing to show that didn't make the time-lapse or the cinematic, and that is, I added a storage room. If this mega castle is going to be my base, then we obviously need somewhere to commence operations from. And I designed and made what I think is the best storage room I have ever made. By far. The best. And I think it's ideal for a lot of single-player worlds. I mean, it's not good enough for, like, a Psycraft tier server. But we've got a shulker box unloader design in there. Keep in mind, most of the individual components for this I didn't design. I grabbed pieces and put them together. What I did design is the overall system. We've got the individual item sorted section here for all of my favorite blocks. Take a screenshot right here, ladies and gentlemen. These are my favorite blocks in pretty much all of my block palettes. This one's, and well, not everything on this side is necessarily my favorites. I don't exactly use those very often. So I've got silos for all of the blocks that you tend to have massive quantities of. I mean, the most obvious are stone, cobblestone, dirt, and grass blocks. You can see that we're filled up with, you know, quite a bit of grass. And then the other one that's new for this is deep slate. We have tons of deep slate. It's almost filled all the way to the top. Oh, there's just a little bit in the top one. The last piece of this storage room, an absolute must for anybody making a automated sorting system, is this multi-item sorter. This version of it was designed by Nembomb. I don't want to use this on its own and have it be my full sorting system. The reason for that is this is only capable of processing 3,600 items per hour. This setup runs at single hopper speed, which is 9,000 items per hour. By filtering out all of the major items that I prefer, we get rid of those first, and then by the time it hits the multi-item sorter, it's a tiny fraction of the items that are left. In the cinematic tour, you guys got a pretty extensive look at the exterior, but you guys didn't get a super thorough look at the interior. It's pretty hard to do a cinematic tour of the inside. This is just, oh, I love this entrance foyer, this pond here. We got all kinds of axolotls. Something I'm gonna bring up in this video that you guys watching on YouTube may not have oh no. Where are all the axolotls? Where have they gone? Oh, the axolotls are goofy. They get stuck swimming into these walls. I may have to get rid of them and replace them with full blocks. But they're all just swimming into walls. Broken with their AI. We got another one back here. Yeah, we got another two of them. What I have recently started doing is streaming on Twitch. I actually spent a lot of time streaming this build on Twitch. You guys should check out my Twitch channel. I think the link is on my YouTube page. If you guys want to watch me build stuff live, check it out. I'd love for you guys to hang out. These names, all of these axolotls, are named after various followers who have requested an axolotl on Twitch. But now, final, best feature of this castle. Oh, I love this interior. This throne hall is just massive. I could fit castles I've built in the past inside this throne hall. It is huge, and I used these in very large quantity. Lodestones. I think there are 20 lodestones in total in this castle. That means 20 netherite ingots were used just for the decoration features in this castle. I mean, I had to make some kind of challenge for block collection. Oh, I love it. Now, if we head over here, we're gonna start entering uncharted territory that was not revealed at all in that time lapse or that cinematic. We've got some other interior rooms, some smaller scale stuff. This is my bedroom. Again, you could probably fit some of the smaller castles I've built inside of this bedroom. It is ridiculous. It's like 30 blocks wide by 30 blocks deep. We got this size of fireplace in our bedroom. That's absurd. But anyway, yeah, this is the whole setup, and we got a giant bed, and it's even functional. Ha! We can sleep in it. Let's talk a little bit about block palette before I move on. The design idea I'd had with this build was to try and make the exterior wall sort of look like it's battered and beaten, as if they've been under siege at different times, and so there's some dark color at the bottom and some debris from the wall as it's taken abuse from various attacks. And I used some very difficult to collect blocks, including that one right there, the deep slate coal ore block. One of the most rare blocks in the games. I had a harder time finding those than finding ancient debris. I think the only block more rare than the deep slate coal ore is actually the deep slate emerald ore. I tried to incorporate a lot of the new 117/118 blocks into the palette. I mean, we've used some tuff here, we've got deep slate tile, and it looks a little odd when we get really close to it. From a distance, the block palette I think just looks fantastic, especially when we move far enough to get it into the fog. One of the things that's very popular nowadays with Minecraft is to build super colorful. I think if Minecraft had a meta, we are in the colorful meta. I did not exactly follow that. I guess I kind of did a little bit of color on the roof with the use of the copper and terracotta and acacia mix. But in general, this is a very gray build on the exterior. And I am totally okay with that. All of the popular YouTubers are building super colorful stuff, and I'm gonna stick with one of the old school, tried and true, grayscale castle. I'm fine with that. We do have all kinds of trees and fun foliage items to look at here. I mean, I've spent hundreds of hours on this thing, and I'm still not tired of walking around and taking a look at all of the various views. There's so many things that we could potentially talk about. I mean, let's look at these arches here. This arch is on a 3-block diagonal, and I think it turned out amazing. We've got one on that side, we've got another one over there. On that far corner on the other side, another arch that's similar to this, but without the covered top, and it's sitting a bit lower. And then we have these massive bridges, super detailed, that connect these exterior towers to the central building. Oh, so many cool features. And then down here, we've got the river coming out of the castle drain, almost as if there was like an aquifer inside the castle, and they've got an excess supply of water, so it's feeding out into the river and then out here, and eventually to this waterfall, which is not very well detailed, but eventually I had to stop building and show you guys, right? Can't just do this forever. Now that we've taken some time to walk through the castle a little bit, I mean, there's so much to look at on this, but I know some of you guys want me to pick up the pace. Let's go check out some of the other things I have worked on since the last video. I designed and built my own sugarcane farm, complete with a flying machine to harvest it. Yay! Look at it go! Woo! I might be going a little crazy. I did a little bit more work inside the behemoth, adding a water elevator without any glass beside it by doing some update suppression. We gave Uneaten Taco the gift of 2 beautiful custom spruce trees for Valentine's Day. I know Valentine's Day was a long time ago, but you know what? I'm behind on my videos. What can you do? We have not decorated our starter base nether portal. That is atrocious. We added a ton more decoration to my starter base, a mega oak tree, a couple other custom trees. This one is a little bit on the mediocre side, and this cute little cobblestone bridge and a bunch of fields. We did some terraforming over here. I think that I can finally call this starter base more or less finished. I know I built a castle in the meantime. But yes, I finally finished my starter base. This is a tunnel that Tech Thor and I built while we were on stream. This is trouble. I'm asking for trouble here, especially with the minecart one. I should save a schematic of this in case I blow the whole thing up or a skeleton shoots an arrow in here. And this business, this is what I'm here for. We need to check out what's going on here. The stationary trader catalog. What do they sell? Flowers, dyes, seeds, mushrooms, vine sand. Ooh, I bet you I could supply a couple of these. Moss. I've got a bone meal based moss based bone meal farm. Yes, that's the one. A moss based bone meal farm that I could probably help out a little bit. Ooh, slime balls. We got a slime farm. Ooh, gunpowder. We have a gunpowder farm. And I did notice flowers, mushrooms. Those things require a lot of bone meal. Like a lot of bone meal. I'm thinking, like we did with that tree business, we should try and make another little sneaky deal and get in on this stationary trader business. Sneaky makes it sound like I'm conniving. I'm gonna help out, and I have a great plan. Now, a good businessman never shows up empty-handed to a business deal. So, my plan is to show up with this. I figure this is a great way to entice somebody into making a deal with me. And then we'll have all the diamonds. Not that we need them. I actually want the diamonds so I can spend the diamonds. Hello, Avon. Where are you?
Hey, I am below ground. I'm watching your nameplate.
Oh, I'm bouncing around above your base. Can you meet me in your tent for a second? I have a business deal to discuss.
Oh, really?
Hi.
Nice
Hi, Avon.
to see you.
Nice to see you too. So I was wandering around the shopping area, and I noticed
Yes.
a big wandering trader head pop up. That's absolutely terrifying,
Yes.
and I was enticed.
Isn't he great?
He's wonderful. I walked inside and I took a look at everything you're selling, and I thought, hey, I already farm a few of these things, and a few of these things I have some excellent, helpful supplies for.
Really?
What do you think about making a bit of a business deal?
I am interested. Tell me more.
So I guess the first thing that I would have to ask then is, what do you need? Oh, let me proper business deal. I gotta take my hat off in the meeting room. We're inside the tent. No wearing your hats. Although
That's
you
right.
have another one on.
Proper
it seems.
etiquette.
Hood there.
Oh, yep. It's more of a hood, though. Does that count as a hat?
We'll give it a pass today. We're in a tent. It makes sense.
Yeah, this hood ain't coming off nobody.
Okay. Well, so here's my thought. You're
Take a seat,
farming
though.
flowers.
Take a seat.
Oh yeah, we have a table here.
Get the animals off the
Your
chairs.
chair is very, very occupied already.
Yes, just gotta push them away. There we go. All
So-
right.
You're planning on selling quite a few things, and I did also see that you are self-proclaimed not a redstone expert.
Yes, that is correct. I am learning, but I am not quite there yet.
That is fantastic. I would like to help you in whatever way possible, specifically with your bone meal required farms.
Okay.
My proposal is this. I supply you with all the bone meal that you need. Now, I do know that you have a bone meal farm already. It's a cactus-based one. It's not going to produce a ton.
Yeah, it's a little slow.
Flower farms are bone meal hungry.
Yeah, you run it for a few seconds and it chews up an entire stack.
So you've already run it and you've already discovered how much it requires.
I've been in the design process, yes.
Ah, okay. Well, I have a fairly epic bone meal farm, and my proposal is this. I supply you with all the bone meal that you need, and in exchange, we split your profits from your sales of anything that required the bone meal. So that would be things like flowers, if you're making moss. What else requires bone meal? I don't know. But
Well, basically everything. But continue.
the way we could split the profits, because obviously I'm only providing the bone meal and you're still making all of the farms and going to all of that effort, is 75-25 is my proposal. You get 75% of the profits, and I take 25% of anything that use bone meal. What do you say?
That sounds extremely fair.
And as a good businessman, I like to never show up at a meeting empty-handed. So this is to get you started.
Holy cow. Well, that'll keep me going for quite a while.
I think that should keep you well supplied. That is 9 chests or 9 shulker boxes of bone meal. That should keep you going for quite a while. Awesome. There are a couple other things on that list that I do already farm, and a couple that I could farm somewhat easily just by making some small modifications to existing farms.
Yeah.
I was gonna propose that I would use your shop, and granted I would need to purchase some licenses for these farms, but use your shop to sell things like gunpowder, slime, and moss, and I could add those things to your, and then you don't have to build, because those are all fairly large farms that are a lot of effort to construct, and with all the other ones you've already set in front of yourself.
Yeah, that sounds amazing as well, actually. I was not looking forward to digging out giant chunks of earth so I could farm slime balls, and so that would, I need to get off my own table. What am I doing? That would be great.
And because you're facilitating the sales, we could split the profits from those the same way, but in this instance, I would take 75% of the profit, and you would get 25%.
I am more than down for that.
Well, I think that business deal turned out marvelous. Guys, thank you so much for hanging out and watching. This was one of the longer episodes. Granted, it was a long time between episodes, and I built a ton of things, and we got a lot of content done. I hope you guys enjoyed this very much. I'm going to give you a quick heads up. I am taking a 2-month hiatus from this. I've got a real-life business trip to go on for quite a while. Hopefully, I'll get back to making videos as soon as possible. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll see you later.